The Curse of Oak Island. Team uncover 200-year-old shaft and learn of possible Spanish treasure on the island. On tonight's episode of The Curse of Oak Island, Rick and Marty Lagina and their team discover a 200-year-old shaft which could lead them directly to the money pit. They also look forward to the data gathered via a massive seismic scanning operation begun last week. Could this intel finally provide the clues needed to solve the centuries-old mystery that has captivated generations of treasure hunters? In footage from this week's episode, Marty is exuberant as he scans Smith's Cove. It is littered with dynamite charges, and he says, "This looks like a minefield. The island can't keep it secret anymore." Will this confidence be proven right? Will the map created with seismic scanning data reveal evidence of tunnels and voids that could conclusively resolve the baffling mystery of what lies beneath the small island? Meanwhile, metal detecting expert Gary Drayton is at his usual best as he discovers what could be a very valuable artifact. This is a 1700 chip spike, he declares after unearthing his latest find. Elsewhere, the team make another exciting discovery when they find what is described as a tunnel at a site where wooden posts are clearly seen protruding from the earth. The official description from this week's episode reveals, excitement grows when the team discovers a 200-year-old searcher shaft which could lead them directly to the money pit. But that's not all they find fascinating on this week's episode of history's popular documentary series. The team also meet up in the war room with a guest who has an incredible tale to tell. He informs the team that he has discovered Spanish ships deposited their treasure on Oak Island and protected the riches with flood tunnels. "Wow," responds Marty. This information is intriguing considering that last week's guest provided information about a possible French treasure deposited on the island. Could it be that instead of one major find, the team will uncover multiple treasure deposits? The winds howled across the shores of Nova Scotia's infamous Oak Island, as if whispering long-forgotten secrets to the modern-day treasure hunters trudging through muddy soil and crumbling earth. Season after season, the Lagina brothers and their tireless team had scored the island, chasing legends that have outlived empires. But this time, the earth finally spoke, and what it revealed might just be the breakthrough they've waited over a decade for. In a recent episode of The Curse of Oak Island, the Fellowship of the Dig made what could be one of their most thrilling discoveries to date: the remains of a 200-year-old shaft hidden beneath layers of sediment and obscured by dense brush. But that wasn't all. Alongside the revelation came startling new evidence suggesting that Spanish treasure, potentially linked to the conquistadors or even Spanish royalty, might lie buried somewhere beneath the cursed island. A shaft from the past? It started, as many of Oak Island's discoveries do, with a hint, a subtle discrepancy in old maps digitized for clarity, noticed by team historian Doug Crowell. While comparing survey records from the 1800s to the current topography, he noticed a spot where a shaft had once been recorded but never fully investigated. Armed with ground-penetrating radar and heavy-duty excavation equipment, the team set out to investigate. Within days, they struck timber. The smell of damp, ancient wood filled the air, and as the excavator pulled back layer after layer of soil, the shape of a square shaft became unmistakably clear. Dendrochronology tests on the recovered timber placed its origin around the early 1800s, a time when many believed early treasure hunters from the Onslow Company had dug into the money pit and its surroundings. Marty Lagina, ever the skeptic with a geologist's mind, was visibly stirred. This is no natural formation. This was man-made, and carefully, he said, brushing dirt from a perfectly notched support beam. This shaft is part of the historical record we've only read about. Now we're standing inside it. The Spanish connection, but it was what they found in the shaft that sent shivers through the team. Rick Lagina spotted a glint wedged between two rocks, not gold, but something equally exciting. A small corroded metal fragment inscribed with a design that matched 16th century Spanish coinage. After careful extraction and analysis, the artifact was determined to be part of a Spanish real, a silver coin used widely across the Spanish Empire during its golden age of exploration and conquest. Archaeologist Miriam Emerald, brought in to examine the artifact, was stunned. This coin fragment predates the shaft by over 200 years. That means either someone found Spanish treasure and hid it here, or Spanish treasure was already buried when the shaft was built. The narrative surrounding Oak Island took another twist. Could it be that early treasure seekers were not simply chasing local legends, but had credible knowledge of Spanish riches buried long before they arrived? Templar theories revisited. The discovery reignited speculation about the island's complex web of historical connections. Theories involving the Knights Templar and their supposed voyage across the Atlantic have been central to Oak Island lore. But this new Spanish clue could point in a different direction, possibly involving shipwrecks from the Spanish Armada or even earlier Iberian missions to the New World. Longtime researcher and theorist Cristin joined the team to discuss this angle. Spain was the wealthiest empire in the world at one point. Galleons full of gold sailed these waters. If one crashed or if an expedition hid treasure here as part of a larger operation, it's possible this island served as a clandestine catch. He gestured to a newly uncovered portion of the shaft wall where a carved symbol resembling the Cross of Burgundy, a well-known Spanish military emblem, was faintly visible. This symbol ties it all together. This is no coincidence. The tunnels below. As the team dug deeper into the shaft, they discovered side tunnels extending horizontally. These offshoots were dug with a methodical precision, heading south directly toward the swamp and the presumed location of the money pit. For years, the team had theorized that hidden tunnel systems connected the island's major features. Using sonar and muon tomography, they detected significant voids along the tunnel path, potential treasure chambers or air pockets carved centuries ago. Every beep of the equipment added urgency to their next moves. It's like peeling back the layers of a massive, intelligent design, said metal detection expert Gary Drayton. Whoever built this didn't just dig randomly. They were hiding something, and they expected someone to come looking. A new chapter unfolds. With the shaft now stabilized and partially reinforced, the team is preparing to descend fully into the tunnels with a compact rover camera. The mood around the war room is electric. This could be the closest they've come yet to touching the treasure that has eluded generations. But excitement is tempered by caution. As historian Charles Barkhouse warned, many before us have gotten this close and turned back or disappeared into legend. We have to be smart and respectful. Oak Island has a way of punishing the overconfident. The possibility of Spanish treasure on Oak Island throws open a whole new chapter of the mystery, one that extends beyond North America and into the age of empires, maritime exploration, and secret societies with global reach. And perhaps the most haunting question remains unanswered. If this shaft was built to retrieve something, did they succeed? Or is the treasure still waiting below, untouched for centuries, guarded by traps in time? As the season unfolds, the world watches. A 200-year-old shaft, a coin from a Spanish galleon, and tunnels leading into the unknown. The clues are stacking up like never before. And, for the first time in a long time, the whispers of Oak Island sound less like myths and more like a promise.